Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm Erin, I'm Queen Bee Tarot, and I have horoscopes, detailed horoscopes for all 12 signs, looking at the astrology for the week ahead. We're going to be covering the aftermath of the two eclipses. We're coming out of Mercury Retrograde pretty soon, and the sun moves into Taurus this week. But the really cool thing that's happening this week is a once in 13 years conjunction of the planets Jupiter and Uranus. They're going to be together in the sign of Taurus. This is a really special event. This is a time of breakthroughs and progress and dealing with everything that was stirred up during the eclipses. So I'm going to give a general overview. Definitely stay tuned for that. There's going to be detailed horoscopes for all 12 signs. Timestamps are below, and make sure to like and follow so that you're kept up to date with all of my astrology. I do daily updates on social media every single morning, a quick little tidbit to get you started for your day. It is my pleasure and my honor to be guiding you guys, especially through challenging times like this. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being brave. We are walking a path into the unknown. You know, the future is changing so rapidly. Our lives are changing so profoundly. And so often it feels as though we're kind of drowning in the experience. So it is absolutely my pleasure and my honor to hand you a surfboard, essentially, on a metaphorical level. I'm going to give you the scoop so that you know what to expect. The thing I love about astrology is that it helps me go, oh my God, okay, that's what's going on, right? That's why things are so crazy. And even people who don't believe in astrology notice full moons and eclipses. The effect of the last two eclipses was undeniable. I hope you guys are doing okay out there. Eclipses have a way of stirring up the dust. We always have a new moon solar eclipse and a full moon lunar eclipse together. Sometimes one is first and the other is first. But basically, full moon lunar eclipse, which we had first on March 25th, is a time of closure. And often it begins the process of closure because something comes to a peak, something comes to a crescendo. Breakthroughs, breakups, progress of essentially being forced through. Sometimes it's explosive. Sometimes it's a relief. It really depends on your perspective. And then the new moon solar eclipse that we had last Monday, April 8th, was a time of new beginnings. However, it was such a powerful and potent alignment because it was all happening in the sign of Aries. Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. It is the first sign of spring. It is known as a cardinal sign, so it's about new beginnings, go time, right here, right now. There's such an energy of almost like tension as we feel so deeply compelled, like on a cellular level, to embody whatever energy we're experiencing and then do something with it. It is the doing that is usually the result of all this Aries energy. And Aries is the fire sign that is a lot like a laser beam, not a flame, not a candle, but a freaking laser beam. So really intense focus, a sense that whatever we are drawn into, it's like hard to look away. But also this like an energy of short attention spans, feeling irritable, feeling prickly or spicy. Sometimes Aries is amazing energy. I mean, every sign's gonna have positive and negatives. Aries is great at getting stuff done. And also what I love about Aries energy is the ability to be really straightforward. You may have found that you had some really awesome, just really blunt, straight to the truth conversations recently. That was one of the things that's been happening because Mercury is retrograde in Aries, and Mercury is the messenger. It's what we say, it's what we think, it's how we perceive ourselves and the world around us. And when Mercury goes retrograde, often we are going back over something. We're rethinking, we're redoing, or we're re-explaining if it wasn't clear the first time. And so while Mercury's been retrograde in Aries, a lot of conversations have been coming up about conflict, about interactions, about fire and focus. Maybe you've been having conversations about like, where is this going? What are we doing? What are you doing? What am I doing? Who am I? Because Aries is also associated with the first house in the zodiac wheel. And the first house is about self-expression, but also identity. So you might have been rethinking, like, who am I? How do I identify myself? And what do I say about myself? Another experience during this time has been, what do I think to myself? And how does what I think affect what I say, what I do, or how I live my life? And then the biggest thing with these eclipses is that all this Aries energy, where the eclipses are, is balanced out by Libra energy. The North Node is in Aries, representing our collective destiny, how we are growing, what we're learning, what's new for us. And what we're leaving behind is the South Node in Libra. So the whole theme, like I've been talking about lately, is me versus we. There's a big focus on relationships. There's a big focus on what happens when I do this. It's like a big fuck around and find out kind of vibe. Pardon my language, but it's really, I'm being blunt, it's a very Aries energy. But Aries, like I said, first sign of the zodiac, all about action. Everything happening in this past month, because the sun's been moving through Aries and all this extra stuff, everything in this past month has brought up so much of a focus of action. And right here, right now, it's been really intense, kind of overwhelming, just a little. But when the sun moves into Taurus this week, now we're moving into an earth sign. And Taurus is a fixed sign. So rather than starting new things, rather than all these breakthroughs, breakdowns, breakups, for the next month when the sun moves through Taurus, fixed energy is consistency, putting things into practice, repetitive dedication, right? Taurus is the bull, slow and steady wins the race, very stubborn, very tenacious, courageous and strong. So what we're going to be experiencing as a collective for the next month is moving into, okay, how do I deal with everything that came up? How do I stick with these changes? How do I act on these realizations? How do I walk my highest path or be the most authentic version of me that I possibly can? So the eclipses stirred up the dust. It loosened things up, especially anywhere that we felt stuck, anywhere that we were unwilling to make those changes, anywhere where we were confused about what needed to change in the first place. A lot of these realizations have been mind-blowing, maybe they've been uplifting, maybe it's been a relief for you, maybe it's been validation, or maybe it's been crushing. Maybe it's been the realization, okay, I was actually right about this person or this situation, and maybe that feels heavy. It's been an energy of not being able to deceive ourselves anymore. We can't lie to ourselves anymore about what we're doing, about what our real motivations are, and we can't lie to ourselves anymore about what other people are doing either. Everything that's happening on a global stage, there's a lot of exposés, there's a lot of truth bombs, there's a lot of exposure. Things are raw right now. And so as we move into Taurus energy is, are my needs being met? Have I drank enough water today? Did I get enough sleep? Have I eaten healthy food? Do I even have access to healthy food? Like, the focus for the next month is about, yeah, grounding out, putting things into practice. But the other thing is going to be brought to our attention are some of these questions or topics or themes of basic needs being met. Maslow's hierarchy of needs is a famous guy who, in the realm of psychology, the Maslow's hierarchy of needs stresses the importance of these basic needs being met. Food, shelter, water, company, a sense that we feel like we belong. We humans are social creatures, right? So this hierarchy of needs starts with the base stuff. And it's only when the base stuff is covered that we can expand into career, following a passion, maybe looking out for other people. So if it's really hard for you to do the top stuff on the hierarchy of needs, which is expansion, like what am I doing with my life? Am I, do I have a career? Do I feel like I'm doing meaningful things? Do I have friends? Those are top level things. And so if we're struggling with those top level things, often it's because the bottom level stuff isn't sorted. So you may feel over the next month like you're maybe taking a couple of steps backwards to be able to take steps forwards. And that's the conclusion of Mercury Retrograde. This is the last week of Mercury Retrograde, thank God. It's going to be a brief one this time. It's not very long. And so as we conclude Mercury Retrograde, it's really just kind of rethinking, Are my needs being met? Revisiting some of the stuff that came up, but you can breathe a sigh of relief that moving forwards, it's not going to be as intense of like shaking up your whole world and stuff like that. Moving forwards over the next month, it's about just working with what we've got, working with what happened, and moving forwards from there. So Taurus energy, definitely looking forward to a little bit of grounded energy for sure, but we're not quite there yet. This week, what we've got going on, we start Sunday with the moon in Cancer. So there's a very like, I need to be in a blanket fort and not talk to anybody kind of vibe this weekend. Do whatever you need to do to recharge your batteries. I mean, everybody's different, right? Like some people recharge by solitude and some people recharge by going out and doing something and maybe getting an adrenaline rush or being social, right? So whatever recharges your batteries, that's part of the journey. Recognize what you personally need and then recognize those as genuine core needs, instead of feeling like maybe they shouldn't be because other people have different needs and am I supposed to be like them? No, you're just supposed to be like you. So whatever helps you feel healthy, happy, and safe, do that. So moon in Cancer this weekend, and the moon is square Venus, but trine Saturn and Mars. So there is an energy this weekend of stay home, make a blanket fort, take care of some of the stuff around your home, puttering around, self-care. Saturn and Mars, the moon being trine Saturn and Mars is definitely an energy of like getting stuff done, sorting out your to-do list, you know, getting to work on some of that laundry that's building up, whatever's happening in your life, some of that mundane stuff, but being in a good mood to do it. And being stoked to be like, whatever, I'm not going to answer my phone today. I'm just going to get some stuff done. And then Monday, the moon is going to be square Mercury and the sun. So you might actually step into the beginning of the week with an energy of like, I still feel discombobulated. I still feel like my batteries aren't recharged. Monday came too soon and I'm resentful for having to go back out and people right now. You might not be very excited about peopling on Monday. So just keep that in mind. Whatever sort of self-care, self-soothing things that you can do to kind of take the edge off the morning. Give yourself that extra couple of minutes. It's not going to be a fun morning to rush. But as the day moves on, the moon starts to form some really harmonious angles to Neptune, Jupiter, and Uranus, which means that once you kind of get in the flow on Monday, you'll be good, but the morning's going to be rough. Tuesday, the moon is going to be opposite Pluto. So the moon moves into Leo Monday night, Tuesday. And then, so moon opposite Pluto is a sense of like push and pull with other people. Feeling better, you're going to feel better by Tuesday, but you're going to be like irritated and bothered by other people. So again, not super interested in peopling this week. Emotional interactions. You might have interactions with people where you're like, what is going on? But just be mindful that possibly, maybe, you might be setting an energetic tone that the other person is responding to. So always be self-aware. Sometimes these things are felt but not spoken, and we can't discount the subconscious and subliminal messages that we're sending. Remember that, you know, body language is everything. So do be mindful of that Monday, Tuesday. Wednesday, you're going to be more friendly. You're going to be more happy to people. You're going to be more like interested in connecting with people, but the desire to work, the desire to get your stuff done, it's going to disappear. So it's kind of that flip-flop, losing momentum midweek, wanting the weekend to already be there, but being better about interacting with other people for sure, but absolutely no motivation to work on Monday. Now, Wednesday. Wednesday we lose motivation. Thursday the moon moves into Virgo. So then we're back. Now we're ready to work. Now we're ready to like get some stuff done. But Friday is when the sun moves into Taurus. So that means Thursday, the sun is going to be spending the very, very last degrees of Aries. And anytime a planet moves through the last degrees of a sign, it brings a sense of urgency and quickness. So Thursday is going to be a mixed bag. You'll be kind of interested in working, but lose the ability to deal with people. And then there's going to be this like tension in the air. So be cautious on Thursday. Especially be cautious, like driving through traffic, people being rushed, people not really thinking about stuff. That Aries energy is going to come back on Thursday. Now, Friday is when the sun moves into Taurus. Friday is going to be a really, really cool day. Friday has really, really good vibes. Mercury conjunct Venus in Aries. We're going to want to speak our love. We're going to be generous. We're going to be patient. We're going to be compassionate and forgiving. You know, it'll be a day of maybe somebody cuts you off in traffic and you'll be like, whatever, buddy, it's a Friday. If you need to go first, whatever. Like, totally different. Night and day difference between Thursday and Friday. But Friday, okay, so we have Mars sextile Jupiter and Uranus, which is getting the ball rolling on. There's some really profound shifts happening. So everything that the eclipses stirred up for you, maybe it was that thing that you needed to notice, maybe it was that word you needed to hear, or that thing that you needed to do, but whatever like popped or snapped or finally like went for you. And I know that's kind of a weird metaphor, but like if something snapped for you during the eclipse time, or like maybe it was a positive thing, maybe you had a really good realization or an idea for the future. What's really cool is on Saturday when Jupiter is conjunct Uranus, that is breakthroughs. That's like when my kids play Mario Kart and the car is like going and you can hit a turbo boost spot and it makes your car go shoom, like really, really fast. That's the energy of Saturday's conjunction. So Friday we start to feel it. Friday, we start to be like, okay, I want to take action on that idea, or I want to take action based on the realization I had, or the breakthrough, or the breakdown, or the breakup that I had. We're going to be like, okay, I'm ready for a new start. And that is awesome, because sometimes when we have these like intense experiences, like during the eclipses, sometimes we just sit with that and we go, right? And it's hard to get the ball rolling after. So here's the thing about the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction on Saturday and Mars sextile that couple on Friday. It is an easy come, easy go moment. Just like in Mario Kart, if the car barely misses the turbo boost, it doesn't get it. So it's one of those things where you have to hit the ground running. You have to remember that this is an incredibly lucky influence, but it's going to be brief. So if an opportunity comes up for you Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, at the end of the week through to the weekend, if something comes up for you that is an opportunity to work with something you realized, or take action based on something that happened, or continue the healing, the awareness, the realizations that you had, if something towards the end of this week or over the weekend opens up for you as far as an exit door, an opportunity to like lock in this new path for yourself, take it, because it's not going to last forever. So I hope that makes sense. Everything that happened during the eclipses, it is all percolating right now. But your exit door, your opportunity, your way to like take advantage of everything that just happened and like make it work for you, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, right around there. So if something comes up, take advantage of it. If nothing specific comes up for you, it's okay. Don't worry, you didn't miss anything. But the people who need it, or the people who are trying to manifest it or bring it in, that's what's happening. And if your personal experience doesn't necessarily need an exit door, then what you're going to experience over the weekend, in about 6-7 days, is going to be validation, confirmation, just feeling good about where you're at, feeling like you can kind of shake off that eclipse energy and be like, okay, I'm good to go now, right? So we do have relief coming at the end of the week. It's going to be awesome. And so the, just want to make sure I didn't miss anything. Oh yeah, okay, what I wrote down was plan B. Like I was saying about the lucky opportunity that's coming with Jupiter conjunct Uranus at the end of the week, just like I was saying, it's easy come, easy go. It's going to be brief. It's not necessarily going to stick around. For example, if you meet a new person, they're going to be a reflection of the progress that you made, but they might not be your forever person. There's an energy of make sure to have kind of a backup plan just in case. That's why I wrote down plan B. Profound shifts and changes, but there's something about the energy that it's not conducive to being permanent. It's conducive to being a turbo boost. I hope that makes sense. It's not something to anchor into. It's something to use to your advantage and make it work for you. And then remember that it's like a springboard that's going to be gone soon after. I hope that makes sense. When it happens, you'll be like, yes, okay, I get it. Just going to have a sip of my water and then we're going to get into the horoscopes. All right. So, starting with Aries, Sun and rising. Sun moving into Taurus for the next month is going to move out of your first house of identity and self-expression. It's going to be less of a time of being like, who am I? How do other people see me? That sort of like really strong internal focus. It's going to move from that to your physical reality. So what I mean by that is when the sun moves into Taurus, it's your second house. Second house is your money, it's your finances, it's your ability to manifest resources, and it's basically like proof of the pudding. It is the result of the energy that you have been putting forwards. So as the sun moved through Pisces, which is like higher conscious, subconscious, not in physical reality yet, and then it moved through Aries, which is like, ooh, I'm feeling it, and then now moving into Taurus, it's like birthing something. So over the next month, you may experience abundance. You may experience an increase in your finances. You may experience opportunities or just simply feeling like things are easier, especially on a financial level. There's going to be a sense of finally feeling progress, and whatever inner tension that you've experienced over the past 2 months is really, really, really going to dissipate, and you'll start to get in a really good flow. Mercury conjunct Venus in your first house, in your sign this week, is going to bring an energy of self-love and healing. Definitely the stress is fading. You're going to be in the zone this week. This is going to be an amazing week to pitch your idea to somebody that you want their approval or you want them to sign on to what you're doing. This is a great week to present yourself in a job interview, asking for a raise or a promotion. You are going to look freaking amazing in the eyes of others, and you're going to speak with self-confidence. You're going to speak with self-love. You're going to come off as somebody who like totally has their shit together, and people are going to be like, yeah, I buy into that. Yeah, I want to support you or give you a raise or whatever it is. So if there's anything along those lines that you need to do, now is the time. This is the week. And what's really cool is that the Mars sextile Jupiter-Uranus conjunction is activating your 12th house and your second house, bringing everything together that you've experienced over the last 2.5 months. So taking action based on whatever mental health work you've been doing, whatever dreams you've been imagining, whatever creativity is coming through. Mars being in that 12th house is like, let's take action on that. Let's manifest that. And the potential this week for you to like turn an idea into money or pitch that project that gets the $1 million sign on, like this is the week. So if you've been looking for a sign, this is your sign. If you've been waiting for the perfect moment, this is the perfect moment. And this is a once in 13 years conjunction that's happening for you in your second house. So the potential for you to manifest material abundance or access to resources or any of those things is freaking amazing. What I do need to caution you about though is don't spend beyond your means. You may feel as though a temporary little bit of money you've gotten is a reason to sign on to, let's say, car payments that are going to be for the next 8 years. Whoa, 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 hold your horses. This is a great time to bring money in, but this is not a good time to spend money unless you have a rock solid plan. Don't spend on a whim, don't spend on a mood or a passion, nothing like that. If you are going to make any kind of a financial commitment this week or next week, please only do so if you have thoroughly checked everything. Mercury is retrograde. You're going to want to triple read that contract. You're going to want to make sure you know the fine print and pass it off to a lawyer that can triple check it for you. Like, don't screw around with committing to anything financial right now. But if you want to bring something financial in, now's the time. It's money for sure. So I hope you have an amazing magical manifestation week. If you want tips on magical manifestations and like bringing some stuff in, like with really specific results, I do have a video on my channel. You should go search for it. I'm gonna see if I can post the link up here, however people do that. But I do have a magical manifestation wish list video in my library. So if you've been trying to bring something together and you want to get specific about it, definitely go check that video out. So have fun. May the force be with you, and I'll see you next time. Taurus, sun and rising. You guys are coming into your birthdays. Happy birthday, baby. I hope you guys have an amazing week, especially those that were born at the very beginning of the sign. And as the sun moves into your sign for the next month, you're going to feel a healthy level of selfish. Make sure it's a healthy level of selfish. You're going to be very compelled to look after yourself. You're going to have a lot of reflections on, wow, what did I do for the last year? Where am I at right now? What do I want to do in the next year? Some of those like full circle completion moments, right? Definitely tuning into your own emotions, definitely tuning into your physical body. You might be thinking about your age. Remember, old age is a privilege denied to many. So definitely don't bemoan how old you are. Give thanks. And you might even be planning some celebrations as well. Now, Mercury joins Venus in Aries, which is in your 12th house this week, which is going to really inspire you to bring something imagined or dreamed or creative or intuitive into reality. You might find that your intuition is just turned up to the max this week, especially when it comes to tuning into your friends or tapping into what is not said. You may be able to read body language like you're an expert, like, or maybe you'll be able to pick up on lies, like, a lie sniffing, detecting dog or something like that. You're just going to be like crazy tuned in this week. But the other thing is that you may speak without thinking, and you may slip up and share secrets, or overshare, or share something you're not supposed to. So be really careful what you say, because there's going to be an energy for you guys this week of it just kind of coming through with no filter. So great for your intuition, but not necessarily great for the words that are coming out of your mouth. Be careful. Now, as far as, Mars, the planet of action, is moving through the final degrees of Pisces right now, which is in your 11th house, and it's forming a sextile to the once in 13 years conjunction of Jupiter and Uranus, and that's in your first house. So any sense of not belonging, 11th house issues, any sense of like looking for your place and swimming around and being like, does anybody see me? Does anybody get me? If you've been having any of those kind of funky feelings, what's really awesome is at the end of the week, there's going to be some sort of breakthrough as far as being recognized for who you are, seen, accepted, validated. You're going to have this awesome moment towards the end of the week of feeling like you belong. So maybe you're settling into a new community, a new job, a new role. Maybe you're starting a new volunteering thing, or maybe you've been doing something for such a long time and feeling invisible. And all of a sudden during this week, there's like this moment of realization or being recognized for what it is that you do. So again, everybody's lives are different. It's going to play out slightly differently for everybody, but with the theme of finding some sort of ideal alignment, connecting with something that you've been dreaming about or craving or wanting or desiring, but it being in your highest good, making a new friend that brings out the best in you, or connecting with a new community, or finding your place in a community where you're like, oh my God, these are my people, right? So there's some moment of feeling like blissfully accepted and like you belong, and really kind of feeling proud of who you are and happy with who you are and loving who you are. So really beautiful themes for you guys. Lots of idealism coming through for you guys this week. So I hope you guys have a magical week, and I'll see you next time. Gemini, Sun and Rising. For the next month, as the sun moves through Taurus, it's going to be moving through your 12th house of spirituality. So it's going to be shining a light on in what ways are you fixed? In what ways are you locked in? And maybe there's stagnancy. Maybe there's a sense that you want to freshen up your perspectives, or maybe there's a sense that you want to act on your dreams. Maybe you want to live more aligned with your ideals, or maybe you want to take action based on your dreams or your intuition. There's going to be like when the sun moves somewhere, it's like shining a light on something in a metaphorical way. And your 12th house is your subconscious, but also like higher conscious. It could also be your dream space. You might be having incredible dreams over the next month. But all of this like spiritual awakening or aligning with your highest path energy, it's being amplified this week with Mercury conjunct Venus. So it's almost like speaking and thinking mixed with love. And it's happening in your 11th house of community and belonging and walking your highest path. So there's something really cool coming through for you guys this week that is going to help you be more clear on where you want to go, what you want to do, and how you want to live according to your ideals. The path of action that you can be taking right now, or like the path that's opening up for you right now, is indicated by Mars being in your 10th house, which is long-term goals, career goals, your estate, long-time savings, things like that, the things that you plan for like years and years in advance, or the things that you've been doing for years and years in the past. And Mars is making a sextile, which is really helpful, creative boosting energy, to the conjunction, the once in 13 years conjunction of Jupiter and Uranus in your 12th house of dreams. So it's a really neat kind of connecting the dots moment for you guys of really bringing dreams into reality, acting on them, and being able to come up with a clear path moving forwards. So feeling loved, feeling accepted, being able to really shake off any shadow stuff that's really been dragging you down, and being able to feel more confident and more brave. Be like, whatever, I'm me. I'm not worried about what other people think, or whatever kind of self-acceptance realizations you've been having. They've been clearing the way for you to finally take action or live your best life in a way that maybe you weren't brave enough, or you weren't strong enough, or you weren't clear enough to do so in the past. So really neat path opening up for you, but it's all activating your 10th, 11th, and 12th houses, which is very cerebral. As far as putting things into action, all we have here is potential. The path is opening up, but whether or not you choose to walk that path is entirely up to you. So you do need to know that the potential is there, but if you don't take action, nothing's going to come of it. Nobody's going to lift you up to get into the life where you belong. This Ace of Base, right? There is a sense that it's almost like a karmic test. What have you learned? How are you going to take action based on your realizations? How are you going to maybe modify your behavior or your habits so that you're setting yourself up for success? Whatever you've been really deep in thought about lately, this week is going to invite you to really take action on that. And then for the next month, any action you take is going to be supported by healthy growth. So again, lots of potential, but how you work with it is entirely an individual choice. So I hope you guys have a wonderful week, and see you next time. Cancer, Sun and Rising. As the sun moves through Taurus for the next month, it's bringing a focus to your 11th house. And there's a lot of different themes happening in the 11th house. The 11th house is creativity, like music and art, anything transcendental that kind of moves beyond the third dimension, but it's all about finding meaning. Finding meaning in our creative expression, finding meaning in how we interact with the community, maybe by doing charity work or philanthropy or advocating for people who don't have a voice, or people who are like underdogs, whatever's going on, right? It's about looking out for the little guy. It's very Aquarius energy. And the 11th house is also about belonging, feeling like we're a part of something, feeling like maybe our lives or our work is meaningful. And it's that sense of discovering meaning that is really coming to light for you over the next month. So you're going to be straying away from a sense of, it's not so much going to be a sense of duty. It's not going to, you know, maybe you're going to kind of shy away from routines or anything in which you feel like you're beholden, right? Everything that's going to be brought to light for you over the next month is going to be, this is what I want to do. This is what I feel inspired to do. So for that reason, you might have a hard time keeping up with your routine and responsibilities and duties and things like that. But you're going to be super inspired to create art or music or listen to music or dance in the sunshine or whatever your free spirit wants to do, right? And so with Mercury conjunct Venus this week in your 10th house, you may speak about plans, you may speak about commitments, you may speak about, yeah, I'm going to do that. Yeah, we're going to hang out. Yeah, I'm going to go apply for this job, or yeah, I'm going to go work those shifts. But then what's going to happen is afterwards, you're going to be like, oh, I shouldn't have committed to that. I really don't want to do that. I want to just go lay in the sunshine and watch the clouds go by. So you may find that you kind of speak without thinking, or so just be mindful not to overcommit your time, your energy, your resources, if you don't necessarily mean to do so. And sometimes we only do so because we're pressured, or we feel really bad for someone, or maybe we just speak quickly without really thinking about it. So as much as you can, try and slow down time. Pause, take a couple breaths, think about it for a minute. Maybe don't respond to that email or that text right away. Give it a second and think about it and be like, do I really want to do this? Before you agree to do something. Now, this week, the alignment of Mars in your 9th house, which is all about action based on philosophy, and maybe you're trying something new, maybe you're walking a new path, maybe you're embracing new understanding, new knowledge. It's all about expanding the mind, and Mars being in your 9th house this week is supported by a really creative angle to Jupiter and Uranus that are having a once in 13 years conjunction in your 11th house. So really tying the circle between your 9th, 10th, and 11th houses, that's kind of like the top of your chart. So all of the energy right now is, where are you headed? You might be realigning, replanning, recalibrating. But as you gather new information, as you look to the support that you're receiving, and you tap into that which inspires you, the three of those combined create a new path moving forwards. And the new path moving forwards is not likely to manifest or become clear if you don't have those three ingredients. So again, it's understandings and beliefs, your inspiration and what you feel, what you're inspired to do, and then the support that you're receiving. So there's some energy of not being able to do something alone, or really, really, really needing your support network to come through for you right now. Or maybe on a professional level, you're crowdsourcing, doing some market research, whatever it is. But there's an energy of, you can't do this alone. Check your head. Maybe just kind of don't take yourself too seriously, or the message for you might be willing to change your mind, be willing to hear different viewpoints. And then again, don't do anything if it doesn't feel right to you. It has to be those three ingredients combined. But really cool opportunities this week. Really cool, like idealistic, hopeful energy coming through this week. Or even if you're not entirely hopeful, there is an energy of acceptance and being at peace with how things are. So remember, we are able to find the pathway when we stop arguing with reality. We just accept things for as they are, and then we move forwards based on where we're at right now. So I wish you guys all the very best. Have a magical week, and I'll see you next time. Leo, Sun and Rising. The sun moving into Taurus this week is going to be activating your 10th house. And it's really cool actually, because when the sun was moving through Aries, that was your 9th house. So it's like everything that was happening for you was kind of happening up here in a very cerebral way. Maybe you were learning things, discussing things, imagining things, picking up on things, but it's almost like none of it really had a tangible quality. And then now when the sun moves through Taurus for the next month, activating your 10th house of tangible steps moving forwards, you're going to be stepping into a time of kind of shining a light on questions of like, what can I do about this? What do I want from this? What, making decisions was kind of last month's vibe. And this month is putting those decisions into action, making a plan, following that plan, and committing to small steps every day. The 10th house is associated with Capricorn. So just imagine a mountain goat. Even if it feels like a really big thing, break it into smaller little steps to help yourself get through it, because one big step or a couple big steps feels really overwhelming. And we can often not even start something because we feel like, whoa, those steps are too big. But a mountain goat can climb a freaking cliff by his little toenails by going 1 little centimeter at a time. So whatever you can do to break things down into smaller, easier steps, that's going to help you really get moving on the things that you want to do. Now, the other thing that you're going to experience is recognizing how your efforts are either paying off or how your energy is being received by the people around you or the universe. Because the Mars is still working through your 8th house. The 8th house is about the infinity loop. I give and I receive. I give and I get. I reap and I sow. So it's going to be almost like a real quickness that you put something out there and almost immediately see how well it's working or see how well it's received. So make sure to be open to kind of like this open-ended back and forth conversation that you're having, either with the people in your life or with the universe. Be willing to kind of have this wide peripheral vision, and then take all of this action and then put it into plan in a very specific kind of way. So what I mean by that is that, over the last month, you've had a lot of stuff, 2 months, you've had a lot of stuff coming through. And now what you're doing is narrowing your focus. You're really establishing priorities. Maybe you're even, bringing some triage into your life and you're like, okay, what is at crisis level and what's underneath that? So depending on kind of where you're at, this is more of a time of kind of locking into reality and then accepting that it's going to take little steps, consistent steps, small efforts over time. So it's not going to be about breakthroughs so much for you over the next month. It's not going to be, you may be seeking breakthroughs. That's the thing. It's going to feel boring because it's almost like when we go through like lots of trauma or drama or life just gets crazy. When we're used to life being crazy and things get calm, sometimes it feels uncomfortable. Maybe you're waiting for the hammer to drop. Maybe you're like, oh my God, this is boring. But unfortunately, that is the energy of this week, is be really mindful, or this week, but also the month coming, is really align what you're doing. Make sure that your words and actions match up. Make sure that you're taking action in an honorable and consistent way. And just really like starting to put things into practice. And it may feel awkward when you first get started, like, oh, this is annoying. But once something becomes a routine, it's easy. So just add one thing or maybe 2 things to your routine at a time. Make sure it gets easy. Maybe make sure you get used to it, and then maybe add another thing and just keep leveling up. Little baby toe steps at a time. And what's awesome is that by the end of the week, you're gonna, if you really do put things into practice, by the end of the week, you should be like, oh my God, this is working, or oh my God, I'm really stoked I did that. You're gonna get some sort of confirmation or validation that's like, yes, okay, I'm gonna keep going. That's the magical opportunity for you. When Jupiter conjunct Uranus in your 10th house at the end of the week, when that happens, that's a once in 13 years conjunction. And it's an opportunity to either get the job of your dreams, the promotion of your dreams, or lock into some sort of plan for the future that is like the freedom that you needed. Financial freedom, spiritual freedom, mental or emotional freedom, whatever it is, you have an opportunity to really hit that turbo boost at the end of the week. And if you do, it's going to keep you going for the rest of the month. But don't drag your feet. This is only an opportunity. And if you don't take advantage of the opportunity, it's not going to come back again for 13 years. No pressure. Love you guys. Have a wonderful week. Just make sure to, if you see an opportunity, take advantage of it before it's gone. Recognize it's going to be brief. And also don't count on that luck to last forever. It's about having a lucky opportunity and then locking it in with practicality. So like the perfect job kind of thing. Yeah. So good luck. I hope you guys have a wonderful week, and I'll see you next time. Virgo, sun and rising. When the sun moves into Taurus this week, it's another earth sign just like you. So there's going to be a sense of like definitely being in the zone for the next month. Might even be one of your favorite times of year. There's a sense of like, yes, this is my vibe, this is my thing. Because when the sun was moving through Aries is like directly over but a tick. So it's a really challenging angle of being like, this isn't necessarily my vibe and I feel really stressed out and I'm really uncomfortable. So if you've been struggling during Aries season, you'll definitely be stoked for the sun to move into Taurus. It's definitely going to be your vibe, your pace. But the thing is that when the sun moves through Taurus, it is in your 9th house, which is expansion. So for every foundation that you set, make sure to kind of tap into, are there other opportunities available, or is there more for me to learn? This is going to be a great month for you to learn new things, expand your understanding, but also kind of prove to yourself how much you've grown, how much you've learned, how much you've accomplished. Sometimes we don't even realize how far we've come until we have a moment of being like, oh my God, that used to be really hard for me and that was a breeze. Or thinking like, oh my God, a few years ago, I never would have imagined that I could have done that or said that or, whatever it is, and being like, holy shit, I did it. So lots and lots of opportunities for the month moving forwards for you to really kind of confirm to yourself that you're on the right path. Continue feeling inspired, continue feeling motivated, but the key is going to be feed your head. Don't get boring, don't get, lazy, don't get stagnant. Feed your head. So this week, Mercury conjunct Venus is like speaking love, but also kind of speaking really spontaneously. And, excuse me, it's going to be happening in your 8th house. 8th house is energy exchange. It is shared resources. It can be debt. It can be inheritances. It's often the financial resources and whatnot that we share, or it's about giving and receiving. There's something about flow. And it's not just about material resources and money. It's also about energy. It's about feelings. It's about attention. And so what's being brought to your attention this week is energy exchanges. Now, it might be the kind of thing where it's a positive realization. It might be the kind of thing where you speak off the cuff and you're like, ooh, I wish I could take that back. So do be mindful that you may speak without thinking. And the key is going to be self-awareness. The key is going to be really, really mindful of like, do I have the energy to do this right now? And be able to come to the table with grace and ease. Like if somebody asks for your help and you show up, but you're like resentful, you might as well not show up at all, right? It's all about what energy we bring to the table. And because you are such an autopilot, yes, I'll help. Yes, I'll do the thing. Just what might be brought to your attention this week is how often you agree to give of yourself and then either instantly regret it, or maybe you harbor resentment that you're always the person that is asked to do things, right? So definitely, you have a right to say no. You have a right to say, oh, sorry, I'm busy, right? Or, oh, sorry, I'm going through a tunnel. Click. create your own boundaries as best you can. You're going to feel more comfortable creating boundaries in an honorable way, but just be mindful of the times that you start to feel resentment building up and go, okay, what can I do about that? Because I'm not a victim. I'm a consenting adult that said yes, right? So if you have resentment coming up, consider, you don't have to be the martyr. And if for any reason you genuinely are a victim, then this is going to be the week that you say this and you seek help. So look after yourself, protect your peace, and take ownership over your energy and over how you feel. As Mars moves through your 7th house, there's definitely an ongoing vibe check within your relationships. And it's all about rebalancing, but it's also about checking your perceptions. How often do you have the storyteller going on inside of your head where like blah, 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 blah about yourself or about the other people? Just consider how often, and this is only if you have an internal dialogue, of course, but the storyteller, it's ego. So if you've got the storyteller going on in your head a lot, just be like, oh, that's my ego. What is it I'm reinforcing to myself? Am I reinforcing that I'm a martyr? Am I reinforcing that I'm a victim? Or am I reinforcing that I have a right to my boundaries and I have a right to claim my energy? So just consider what you're reinforcing. So yeah, there's a really special once in 13 years conjunction happening in your 9th house this week, which means that when Jupiter and Uranus make this conjunction, you're going to have a mind-blowing realization. You're going to be tuning into your belief systems. You're going to be recognizing when and where you're not necessarily free, especially in your head, but maybe in your life, maybe in your ability to move or be yourself. But you're going to have realizations of what you believe, what you've been taught to believe, and what maybe makes no sense anymore. There's going to be a desire to clear out that headspace, to really check yourself with love, but also humble honesty, and refresh any belief systems that you might have. You might need to squeegee that third eye there, right? Or cleanse your eyes of perception. But this is going to be a really eye-opening week for you if you're willing to look into the flame, if that makes sense. Don't run from the truth. It might be uncomfortable, but it will set you free. And that's the idea this week. Sometimes the truth will piss you off, but it will always, always, always set you free. So let it be. I hope you have an amazing week, and I will see you next time. Libra, sun and rising. You may have felt as though like the world has gone crazy. With all the eclipses and with all the energy happening in Aries, that's your 7th house. That's like other people. That's like the people closest to you, especially work partnerships, romantic partnerships. You may have felt like you were on some seesaw roller coaster action for the last month, especially the last month. But what's really neat is that when the sun moves into Taurus this week, it's moving out of your 7th house and into your 8th house. So it's going to be less like in your face interactions, and it's going to be more vibes. It's going to be all about energy and vibes. Now, there is going to be a focus on your finances. You might find that you're having to shine a light on, it's like the metaphor of the sun. You might find that you're having to shine a light on debt, shared resources, thinking about leaving a will behind, thinking about inheritances, either giving or receiving. There's definitely a theme of money, almost like invisible money or like shared money, hidden money. It's kind of hard to explain. And if it's not money that comes up for you over the next month with Taurus energy, the other thing that could come up is repeating patterns, karma, habits. And basically it's about your physical reality. You might be thinking about whether or not you're drowning in debt, or maybe you have enough resources to save for the future and maybe give to your descendants. Whatever it is that's coming through for you, there's going to be some really deep life and death connections to themes of money and resources. So deep thoughts for you guys over the next month. But Mercury conjunct Venus this week in Aries is going to be kind of like that last blast of Aries energy, and occurring in your 7th house of one-on-one connections, partnerships, relationships. You might have one last blast of like social activity this week before things get really quiet. You might have one more heated exchange with someone, or one of those moments where you're like, all right, I'm just gonna say the thing. Be careful, because Mercury is still retrograde, and we want to really embody Mercury conjunct Venus, which is speaking with love, or speaking in a way that makes other people feel safe. Sometimes really important conversations don't happen because people don't feel safe enough in the relationship to bring things up. So it's all about needing safety in relationships, to feel safe, to say how you feel, to speak up when your boundaries have been crossed. And it's also about creating safety so that other people can feel safe to talk about, you know, difficult stuff with us as well, right? So what's coming through is an eye on subtlety. Like I said, it's not going to be like in your face energy too much this week, except potentially on Wednesday. But is it Wednesday that conjunction is happening? No, Friday. Friday is the day with Mercury conjunct Venus. Heated exchanges, things being said, that's Friday. So be careful around that time. But other than that, it's everything this week is going to be more along like vibes. And it's actually going to be a welcome opportunity for you to just kind of detach or disconnect and just focus on yourself for a bit, because there's not going to be any fires to put out. There's not going to be any major drama or anything like that, except maybe on Friday. But yeah, Mars moving through your 6th house is putting a focus on what do you do on a daily basis. And it's going to be forming a really helpful sextile to Jupiter and Uranus, having a once in 13 years conjunction in your 8th house of debt, karma, and shared resources. So there's this interesting energy of either having an opportunity to clear your debt, having an opportunity to find new work or improve on the work you already have in a way that sorts out your financial situation. So the thing is, though, that this conjunction happening at the end of the week is going to be a very brief opportunity, like a once in 13 years kind of opportunity, and it's not going to last. So it's going to be like a turbo boost opportunity to sort something out or receive something or manifest something, but it's not going to be something that you can necessarily depend on. It's not going to be something necessarily that comes in and ends up being consistent. It's like you're putting in daily action and you're starting to recognize the results of those efforts. But like I said, there's going to be a turbo boost. And I'm sorry, it's kind of weird how I'm explaining it, but I think about my kids playing Mario Kart and how you can hit these like launch pads where all of a sudden there's like zoom and it makes your car go really fast. But if you miss it and you drive just outside of it, you don't get that turbo boost, right? So there is an opportunity for you, but don't worry. That which is meant for you will never pass you by. It could be, you know, it's going to manifest as something like tangible for some people, but other people, it's going to be a sense of, okay, I finally am making progress. I'm finally able to pay off my debt in small bits. I'm finally recognizing that all my hard work is paying off. And now I feel a sense of relief that the weight on my shoulders or this baggage that I've been carrying karmically, could be physical, it could be metaphysical. You're going to have a sense at the end of the week that your load is lighter. Whatever that means for you. Everybody's, you know, it's going to come through in a different way for everybody, right? For some people, it's going to be physical. For some people, it's going to be metaphysical. But look forward to feeling at the end of the week like your load is lighter. So be easy on yourself. Definitely take as many opportunities as you can to recharge your batteries, especially with things getting quieter this week. And you never know, that interesting interaction coming through on Friday for you might be the opportunity that helps you sort out your debt or your karma. So check your phone, check your emails, right? Stay open to communication around Thursday, Friday. That might be the way it comes through. So I hope you guys have a wonderful week. Take it easy out there, and I'll see you next time. Scorpio, sun and rising. The sun moving into Taurus over the next month is directly opposite your sign. And so it's kind of going to be kind of like the metaphor for the sun is like shining a light on something. It's going to be shining a light on your one-on-one relationships. So the 7th house is represented by Libra, the scales. It's all about give and take. It's all about balance, but it's all about those really close interactions that we have. Maybe it's a business partner, a romantic partner, our besties, roommates, whatever it is, like where we have those one-on-one really close relationships, not casual, right? And so there's going to be a sense of nourishment in that realm. If there is not nourishment already, you're going to feel compelled to bring it in. If you're in a relationship where there is no nourishment, you might be compelled to leave. So there's different ways that you might experience it, but there's going to be a highlight on whether or not you feel nourished, whether or not your desires and your needs are being met. And then the question of what can I do about it? Is this fertile land? Is this an opportunity that is going to help me meet my needs? Is this a place where I am going to thrive? Or is this barren landscape somewhere where I'm just going to wither up and die? I'm using a lot of metaphors here, but that's going to be the focus for you guys for the next month. Now, the peak energy happening this week is all pretty well clustered around like Friday, Saturday. So for the majority of the week, you might feel really emotional. You might just kind of be like, okay, what the hell is happening this week? But then at the end of the week, there's going to be like, oh my goodness, what do I want to do with my day? Maybe I want to hang out with people. Maybe I want to be social. Maybe I want to go do axe throwing or something really fun and inspired. So definitely kind of a slow start to the week, but then by the end of the week, you're going to be connecting with like action, fulfilling desires, having fun, being joyful, being spontaneous, like really cool energy. Now, with Mercury conjunct Venus this week, in your 6th house, be careful what you say at work. Because Mercury is retrograde and it's in Aries, which is like speaking without thinking. And conjunct Venus is like, it's all about themes of safety, it's themes of money, and it's themes of who we are close to. You might find at the end of the week that, you know, maybe somebody pushes your last button and you just go, and then afterwards you're like, oh, I should not have said that. Right? So just watch your spice at the end of the week. That's the most negative potential way it could play out. But the most positive potential way it could play out is that you could have like a dream invitation to go see a concert that you really wanted to see. And maybe somebody scores like the last ticket and you're like, oh my God, let's go. Right? So there's a lot of really cool opportunities to be spontaneous, fun, and fancy-free at the end of the week. But do watch your words, because there's also an energy of you, like, it could be the kind of thing where, you know, maybe your boss doesn't want to give you, like, the day off, and you're like, fine, I quit. Like a Ferris Bueller's day off kind of moment, right? Please do watch your words, especially in the workplace. Because of the 6th house energy. The other manifestation of the 6th house is your physical health, is your physical body. So do also be careful what you put into your body at the end of the week. Nothing huge, but like maybe accidentally eating something that you're allergic to, or going out to eat and not necessarily checking the ingredients list, or it's all about spontaneous, potentially eating, potentially ingesting something, or having a one-night stand that you totally regret the next day. So a couple of different ways it could play out. Watch your choices. But you're going to have a lot of fun this week. So it's a once in 13 years conjunction happening with Jupiter and Uranus in your 7th house on Saturday. That is going to also bring an opportunity for breakthroughs, breakups. The focus is freedom. If anybody tries to reduce your freedom this week, either in the workplace or in a relationship, you're going to be like, yeah, and you know what I mean? Tell them where to go. But again, you might regret being so candid in more sober moments afterwards. So just recognize any ways in which you might be like a volcano about to burst, and make sure to tune in and temper that fire so it doesn't come out and burn anyone by accident. But I hope you guys have a magical week. Lots of cool stuff coming through, lots of opportunities for fun, and I'll see you next time. Sagittarius, sun and rising. The sun is moving into your 6th house. While it makes its journey through Taurus for the next month, it's activating your 6th house, shining a light on what it is you do every day. You might start to feel super conscious or self-conscious of maybe either not working enough and feeling like really self-conscious for either being lazy or perceived as being lazy. It's all about perception. Or maybe you feel like you work too much. There's going to be a sense of also maybe struggling with boredom, maybe struggling with monotony, maybe struggling with a feeling of like, am I even getting anywhere? But as the sun moves through your 6th house, it definitely highlights work opportunities. And anything that you really put into practice for the next month has huge potential to grow and flourish in a healthy way. So any seeds that you plant this month are really, really, really going to pay off. But the struggle for you guys is going to be staying motivated, staying positive, and trying not to be too bored or like, you need more opportunities to be sparkly. So make sure to fit those in your schedule. Now, speaking of opportunities to be sparkly, Mercury is going to be conjunct Venus on Friday in your 5th house of being sparkly, of having fun, joyful, pleasure, play, creativity. So definitely feeling like Friday, Saturday, you're really going to want to go out and do stuff and have fun. And it's going to be really important to you to surround yourself with people who love how sparkly you are, so that you're not having to tone yourself down. Because the energy of Taurus moving through your 6th house is almost having to like put on a hat, tone down your sparkle, and go to work. Which is why it's going to be so important any opportunity you get to throw off the hat and throw off that stuff and be like, woo, and have some fun. Let your hair down. So Mars is moving through your 4th house, and it's been there for a while, still for another couple of weeks. And so there is an energy of movement or activity, busyness within your home. So maybe you're rearranging your furniture. Maybe you're thinking about redecorating. Maybe you're thinking about moving. Maybe you already moved. But there's an energy of feeling restless in your house, which is why like work is getting boring. You don't want to stay home. You're definitely going to want to go out and do stuff. You could go, for hikes and walks in nature. You can go pretend you're a tourist in your own town and go check out stuff that you've never checked out before. You're going to want to be inspired, and you're going to want to like do different things and wake up your spirit, right? And there's a once in 13 years conjunction happening this week on Saturday, so like a week from now. Jupiter and Uranus. Only every 13 years do they ever meet up, and it's happening in your 6th house. So there's a really interesting potential here. The 6th house is day-to-day work, what you do on a daily basis, like we were talking about. But the other implication of the 6th house is your physical body, sometimes your mental health as well, but really that like mind-body connection and how important it is to treat your body like a temple. So there's this opportunity coming up around Saturday, so towards the end of the week, for you to either make a breakthrough with your health or make a breakthrough in your work life situation. It's going to be along the lines of having more freedom, more opportunities. It could be the kind of thing where you just hit a point where like, I am so bored of the corporate life, I quit. I just can't even take it anymore, right? But do keep in mind that with this conjunction, is going to come an energy of, oh my God, I just want to take action right now. But after the energy passes, you might be like, ooh, kind of wish I didn't quit that really well-paying job, right? So do consider it can be an amazing breakthrough for getting a turbo boost in some aspect of your life. The potential downside is quitting a job or, making some crazy like, I'm done here, just because somebody's limiting your freedom. Now, if you are genuinely limited and you are genuinely not free, break away. Absolutely, seek freedom. But there is a possibility that you're just going to get really worked up about something and say something you regret. Only you know the difference. If it's been building for years and it's a breakthrough or a breakup that you want, this is going to be your turbo boost. But just be really careful that you're not burning bridges or setting yourself back a few paces. I hope that makes sense. So, yeah, definitely the work-life balance is a thing for you, but nourish your sparkle and then you'll have enough momentum to get through boring days as well. As long as there's a healthy balance, you'll be good. So I hope you have a great week and I'll see you next time. Capricorn, sun and rising. You are an earth sign. The sun is moving into Taurus, another earth sign. Over the next month, you're definitely going to be like, okay, this is more my vibe. You're going to feel more in tune with the energies at hand. It was very likely that over the last month, you've been feeling really stressed out. I mean, everybody has with the eclipses, but Aries is not like your vibe. And you may have felt really stressed out or twitchy or uncomfortable or like almost overstimulated. That's the word, overstimulated for the past month. But, you know, all good things in their time, right? Sometimes it's fun to have those. But I have, you know, what's coming through is that you guys are really going to enjoy the like, whoo, over the next month. More your vibe. Now, when the sun moves through Taurus, it is your 5th house. There's going to be a focus on play, family, vacation, doing something fun, letting your hair down, excuse me, and maybe even being more creative, maybe speaking up or advocating for yourself, but definitely kind of like, excuse me, when the energy outside of you is overwhelming and overstimulating, you get quiet. But when the energy around you is nice and chill, then you get sparkly and motivated and dynamic. So that's what's coming through for Taurus energy, is you're going to come out of your shell because you don't feel so overwhelmed by everything happening around you. It's going to be great. You're going to have a great time. Now Mercury is going to be conjunct Venus in Aries, bringing kind of this last blast of like Aries focused energy, and it's happening on Friday. It's happening in your 4th house. And what's interesting is Mercury conjunct Venus is like talking within our relationships. 4th house is family. You may lose your cool with your family. You may lose your cool with whoever you share a house with, roommates, your pet, whatever it is. But there's a sense of like maybe blowing your top. There's an energy of speaking without thinking. It would be amazing. Like the most positive way you could manifest is speaking your love to someone or voicing your affection, spontaneously demonstrating how much you care, or a random act of kindness or something like that. But the other side of the coin is that there's a risk of blowing your top to the people that you love, the people that you're closest to. So do be mindful if you have any built up resentments to deal with them before it becomes an explosive, urgent kind of situation, because there is this energy at the end of the week of you kind of like hitting your limit with something. But that being said, all in all, really, really positive week for you guys. But Mars is moving through your 3rd house. Mars is moving through Pisces right now. Pisces is very avoidant. Pisces is non-confrontational, does not want a confrontation, will definitely swim away or be like, it's fine, instead of actually dealing with something. And that's kind of why I'm tuning into this whole like, make sure you don't have a whole bunch of built up resentments, because in a weak moment, in a fiery, spicy moment, you could let loose years worth of things that you should have said a long time ago. So just, yeah, tune into that. Make sure to check yourself before you wreck yourself, right? At the end of the week, there's a really special conjunction between Jupiter and Uranus. Only happens every 13 years, and it's happening in Taurus. So profoundly beneficial for you, an earth sign, and it's activating your 5th house. You may have a sudden opportunity to break free from monotony or routine, or feel free inside of your head. Maybe you have a moment of feeling like your heart just explodes, or maybe you have a realization that makes you go, oh my God, I'm not stuck. Or maybe you get to literally travel, literally fly somewhere, but really cool energy of breakthroughs happening for you at the end of the week. It's going to bring relief. It's going to bring like an energy recharge for you. And it's going to be a really fun opportunity for you. So I do hope that you are able to take advantage of it. I mean, obviously everybody's lives are different. Not everybody's going to experience it in the same way. If it isn't something that you get to act on physically, then being in your 5th house, it could be a breakthrough creatively. It could be your inner child. It could be how you express creativity. It could be an opportunity to play soccer with some friends in the neighborhood, no matter how old you are, or jump on a trampoline. Let your inner child come out to play. It's going to be soul food. It's going to really inspire you to keep going. It's going to really recharge your batteries. So please do give yourself that opportunity on some level to be like a kid again. I hope you have an amazing week, and I will see you guys next time. Aquarius, sun and rising. The sun is going to move into Taurus this week, and Taurus would be in your 4th house. It's the very bottom of your chart. And the 4th house is associated with our roots, what sustains us, and what was our original family life or home life like. It's often, like we go about our lives as adults not really thinking about how we grew up, not necessarily. But as the sun moves through Taurus, you might find yourself reflecting on how you feel emotionally, how you were raised, or how you feel in your home, wherever you live. And the focus is going to be all about needs being met. Maybe you might be thinking about whether or not you have enough space. You might be thinking about whether or not you have enough money to pay your rent. You might be thinking about whether or not you have enough food in your fridge, or maybe you're going to think about taking a cooking class and learning to cook something new. But definitely the focus is going to be on making sure that your needs are met, not just on a physical and basic human rights level, but also on an emotional level. And as an Aquarius, you don't necessarily prioritize your emotions. You're a much more logical kind of person. And so this transit might even be experienced as a bit uncomfortable, as you're like, God, why am I so emotional these days? You're like crying at commercials or something like that. For you, yeah, it's really going to be tuning in and touching on your soft spots. Don't perceive your softness as weakness. It's definitely not. In all the ways that you are soft in a hard, cruel world, like those are things to really be proud of. So you might want to spend more time by yourself for the next month, as maybe you work around your home to beautify it, to clean it, to reorganize it. And maybe you process some deep feelings or deep thoughts about, your early life experiences. It's going to be interesting, but you're definitely probably going to want to withdraw and not be super social for the next month moving forwards. What's interesting though is that Mercury is going to be conjunct Venus in Aries at the end of the week. Mercury's retrograde, which is like speaking without thinking. Venus is the people that we're closest to, and it's happening in your 3rd house of your close circle. So the most positive manifestation of that is an opportunity to speak your love to a friend or a sibling or someone you're really close to, and connect in a way where maybe you're rehashing old memories. Maybe you're like catching up on lost time. Maybe you get to reconnect with someone, because Mercury retrograde is like going back over. So it could be going back over the past, or reconnecting with someone you haven't seen in a long time. But you are going to be impulsive with your words, spontaneous, just speaking off the cuff. So the potential negative implication of this transit is saying something you regret to someone you love. In a heated moment, slipping up and being hurtful, or letting your fire burn somebody. So just be mindful that you're not really going to have much of a filter around Thursday, Friday, Saturday. But what's really awesome is that Saturday is a once in 13 years conjunction between Jupiter and Uranus, and it's happening in your 4th house. So any themes of safety, any themes of emotional health, especially within the context of your home, your original family life, your current family life, these things are going to be brought to a head this week, and it's going to be an opportunity for breakthroughs, maybe breakups, but I really hope not a breakdown. If you're approaching burnout, if you're approaching a breakdown, please, please, please take care of yourself before it reaches a crisis point, because you got to really be careful around this energy. It is all about emotional release. It's all about themes of safety, and where you feel safe, you might be super inclined to just be like, this is how I feel, without really thinking about how that affects other people. Like, for example, kids will often show their absolute worst to their caregivers because they know they're safe. They know that they're unconditionally loved. They know that they're safe to just like let it all out, right? But when we let it all out in the context of a safe and healthy relationship, we have to be really, really mindful that we are not acting inappropriately. Like, nobody signed up to be our punching bag. Nobody signed up to just take all of that crap, right? We can't abuse the privilege of feeling safe with people. So what might be coming up for you is you might be feeling like somebody is abusing the privilege of feeling safe with you, or alternatively, you might abuse the privilege of feeling safe with somebody else. So those are the themes that are happening right now. But the once in 13 years conjunction happening in your 4th house is an opportunity to make some sort of breakthrough that leads to positive progress. Sometimes the best kind of breakthrough is to clear out the trash. Sometimes the best kind of breakthrough is to just get everything out so it can be talked about. It's going to be raw. It's going to be visceral, but it's going to be absolutely liberating. So yes, speak your truth. Yes, manifest safety and comfort, but make sure that you're part of the solution and not part of the problem. It might be hard to tell in some moments, right? But that's the theme for you this week. You might even, the other possible thing with the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction happening on Saturday in your 4th house, there is a small possibility that for some of you, it's an opportunity to move house in a way that is going to be like epic, like the best thing ever. So again, it could be physical, it could be metaphysical, lots of really cool opportunities for breakthrough though. So I hope you have a wonderful week, and I will see you next time. And Pisces, sun and rising. With the sun moving through Taurus starting this week and for the next month, it's going to be shining a light on your closest relationships, as well as themes of communication. How well connected you feel, how safe you feel to speak freely, and whether or not you feel as though your connections are meeting your social needs. We as humans are social creatures, and we can often talk ourselves out of feelings of isolation because everybody's got stuff to do, like it's a busy world out there. But fact of the matter is that when we feel isolated, and it happens for a long period of time, we can actually experience struggles with our health. So if you are experiencing literal, painful loneliness or isolation, this is going to be the month where you choose to do something about it. Because as a light represented by the sun, as a light is being shown on your closest relationships, you are going to start to recognize certain things as needs, not just a want or a desire that you can brush off and ignore. You're going to recognize how important it is for you to talk, how important it is to feel like somebody's listening and to feel like somebody gets you and hears you. And you're also going to feel super inspired to provide that for the people that you love. So lots of heartfelt connections, lots of words, lots of reinforcing those connections, especially if you've been kind of like in your own world for the last couple of months. This is going to be the month where you come out of your shell, you start to reach out, you start to be more social. Maybe you take action within a business, because the 3rd house can represent self-employment or having your own business. And actually, on that note, this week on Friday, Mercury, which is still retrograde, is going to be conjunct Venus, which represents money, relationships, and trust, in your 2nd house of money, relationships, and trust. Money and trust. Your 2nd house is all about what we manifest. It's the proof for the pudding. It is the sense that our needs are being met and we can see it, we can feel it, we know it to be true. There's no doubt, right? So with Mercury conjunct Venus in your second house, you might be inspired to voice your needs when maybe you hadn't before. Vocalize your desires, vocalize your manifestations to the universe. You know what I mean? Speak your desires into being. This is a fantastic week for you to do a magical manifestation wish list. In my video library, I'll see if I can post the link, but in my video library, I have instructions on how to do a magical manifestation wish list. This would be the week to do it. I've used it to manifest a place to live. Whoops. You can use it to manifest a relationship, a career, a place to live, like literally anything. All it is getting really, really, really specific about what you want and speaking your manifestation into being. It's a simplified version, but definitely go check out the video if that's something you think you might be interested in. This is an amazing week for you to manifest money. The risk is spending money too fast. There is a small risk for you guys of just burning through money or making some sort of impulsive purchase that you regret soon after. So please do be careful for that. But yeah, an amazing time to bring something in for yourself right now. Now, Mars is still moving through your sign. And because Mars is moving through your sign, there's going to be extra potential energy within your being. You may feel physically active, you may feel like top of your game, you may feel inspired, but you're also going to be like Pisces are like never confrontational, like ever. But with Mars in your sign, you might be like, what? Come at me. Like, even though you're not that kind of a person at all. So it's really kind of funny to see that coming through. You need that strength. You need that like oomph or that like pep in your step, right? So allow the Mars energy to supercharge you without actually like fighting anybody, not that you would. But Mars on Friday, Saturday, Mars forms a sextile, which is a really helpful angle to Jupiter and Uranus, which are making a once in 13 years conjunction. And they're going to be in your third house. Mars is in your first house. Here's the thing. Take action based on who you are and speak it into being for a once in 13 years opportunity to manifest a dream, a desire, a hope, a wish, a creative inspired project, whatever it is that's like been on the tip of your tongue, whatever it is that you've been like calling in or recognizing that you need, realizing that you want, right? Whatever it is, Friday, Saturday is like the day. Speak it into being. Also self-promotion. Toot your own horn. Talk about yourself. If you do have your own business highlighted by the third house here, this is a great week to seek feedback, support, to promote yourself, to advertise. Like I said, toot your own horn. You're usually somebody who's kind of happy to kind of move in the background. Like, you like being noticed every now and then, but you're not like, hey, here I am. Not usually. This week, that energy is definitely going to work to your advantage. Tell people that you're here, right? Like, call that energy towards yourself, because this week, your desires have a really high potential to manifest, to come through, and for you to bring something into being. But this opportunity is not going to last. Like I said, once in 13 years opportunity. It's very brief. It's only going to be clustered around the weekend, like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and then it's going to pass. So if you feel super inspired, act on it, because a few days later, you're not going to feel that like, I'm ready, I'm brave, I'm confident. Like, it's all going to go out the window a few days later. Not entirely, but if you're feeling the fire, definitely channel it, because there's such amazing, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful potential. Don't be shy. And if you need to, maybe be a little bit confrontational if there's a boundary that you need to set or enforce, or a truth that needs to be spoken, and then you can go back to your fishy ways, right? But definitely a little oomph coming through for you this week. I hope you have an amazing week, you guys. Thanks for being here, and I'll see you next time. All right, that's everything I've got. The sun is starting to come in. That's my cue to wrap this up. I'm glad everything worked out as far as timing. In the summertime, the sun cooks my face and I have to record early. So I hope you guys have an amazing week. I hope you take advantage of the magical opportunity that this once in 13 years conjunction is going to bring. I hope you find peace. I hope you find breakthroughs. I hope you find freedom that just lights your fire and makes you so glad to be alive. I hope wonderful, wonderful things happen to you and for you. Many, many blessings to you and your families. And thanks for being here. Make sure to like and subscribe. And I will see you guys next time. And if you ever want to book a private reading with me, you can do so from anywhere in the world on my website at www.queenbeetarot.net. Mwah! Blessed be.